Good morning, people. It's 8 a.m. here in Colorado. Spent yesterday traveling, worked a full shift at work, and then got the phone call that they weren't going to be waiting to do a angiogram on my mom because her problems were too risky and too many little parts of her heart were occluded was the word they used. More than 90% pinched off. And I'm here with Sadie. Sadie traveled with me. Her come here. Her third time flying, and she did great. Eric also came with me. We made it in last night after flying from Dallas Love Field to Houston and having just enough of a layover that we stepped off one plane and heard over the loudspeaker, would Leslie and Eric Bolus please board their plane at gate 50 now. So we ran as much as I can run with my hips. I realized last night running to this gate that was like 5 or 6 gates away from where we deplaned. I'm really stiff. I'm old. I walk like an old lady. So we got there and we got on the plane and we took that flight, another 2.5 hours from Houston to Denver, DIA, and that was interesting. And we got in late. It was 11:25 at night, and we called the hospital, and my mom was still in surgery. She had gone into surgery at 3:30, and she was still in surgery at 11:25, and we drove straight from the hospital, or to the hospital from the airport. When we got in, they had just notified the people waiting in the lobby, which is Mo, who had been there since 10 o'clock at her original hospital, and followed by ambulance to Lutheran for her heart surgeon, and her best friend Nancy. My sister Judy drove in despite having just had shoulder surgery, and her daughter Nicole came as well. So when we got to the hospital, we being Anna, who picked me up at the airport, Eric and I, there was Nancy, Mo, Judy, and Nicole waiting, and they had just let them know that she had been removed from the heart-lung bypass and her heart was beating on her own, and that was at midnight last night. And then about 30 minutes later, they let us know that she was all sewed up and that she was in recovery. And a few minutes after that, 1 o'clock in the morning, Nancy and I went back and saw her for a few minutes. She was completely sedated, but even though her eyes were closed like this, she was like trying to open her eyes when we touched her and spoke to her. And when I put my hand on her foot, she like kind of wiggled it like it was tickling, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mom, that probably tickles," and her foot went like that. So I think that was yes. So they're telling me today when I called the hospital, look at that, isn't that cute? You're cute. They're telling me today when I called the hospital this morning that they have her on what is called light sedation. She is following commands. She is shaking her head no. She's not in pain when they ask her what her pain level is on. And she's breathing better at a lower amount of oxygen. She was almost on 100% oxygen last night, and she's on 80%. and her oxygen is at 90. So that's really, really good because it was at 70 before she went in. We all got home about 2:30. Sadie and Oscar saw each other for the first time in months, and then after mini showers, we all went to sleep around 3 o'clock. And it is 8 in the morning here. Very tired. I just made a cup of coffee and everybody else is still sleeping. I'm trying so hard not to be noisy and wake them up. But this puppy feels playful this morning. So I will update you all as soon as I know anything more. We'll be going to the hospital as soon as everybody's awake. And she really pulled through on this one. Calling 911 and getting herself to the hospital was a brave and amazing thing that she did. And it saved her life. So keep praying for her, because the next few weeks for Rose and her personality are going to be really hard, because she will be in the hospital for 8 to 10 days, and then they will be sending her from there to a rehab facility. And I said last night, I can hear Mom singing Amy Winehouse. They tried to make me go to rehab, but I said no, 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 because she's very set in her ways. And I don't know how she's going to respond to people telling her what to do, but it's really important that she goes and does well. So that is the next step. Get her through this hospital stay and then get her to rehab. And just wanted to let every one of you who contacted me know how she's doing. First of all, thank you, Kim, for calling me back so quickly while you were rushing through an airport, and for your prayers and your thoughts. My friend Pam, who called immediately and answered every question I had about heart surgery and more than I could ask, so that I'd know how to deal with my mom and her stubborn personality. And all of the people who I haven't responded to on Facebook and YouTube and in my email, thank you for praying for my mom. All of those prayers really, really helped. So I'll talk to you later. Bye, people.